So what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed a gathering of community where we begin, as we always do, by acknowledging the land that we're on and our treaty relationship with the Indigenous peoples of Canada. We acknowledged that we're an affirming congregation and how important it is that all people, regardless of sexuality, binary, non-binary, feel welcomed and included. We acknowledge that we are not alone, and that being not alone means that we are connected to all living beings. And it's not just a comfort, it's a responsibility. And in the midst of that, we also acknowledge that we are not alone. We are siblings, we are family, we are connected to all of the people in the Living Tree Synagogue in Pittsburgh. And we grieved with them, and we acknowledged our hurt and our worry and our concern, and how we're not sure what we can possibly do, except that we know we need to do something. And so as a community, we prayed and we wondered, and we acknowledged that not only do we live in a world where such things can happen, but we live in a world where these things do happen, and yet we aspire to a world where this would be unthinkable. We acknowledge that we're not alone. The people in Pittsburgh, the Jewish community around the world need to know that they are not alone, and we need to do that as individuals, and we need to do that as communities. We need to reconnect with those who feel isolated and alone, who are under threat and oppression, and who legitimately fear violence. They need to know that they're not alone. So we started there. And then today, Jason preached, and he took the story from Mark's Gospel of Bartimaeus, the blind beggar who calls out to Jesus, and Jesus brings to him that gift of sight, but Bartimaeus is told to be quiet, and he throws off his cloak. He comes after Jesus. It says that he follows him on the way, and Jason did a wonderful job of inviting us to imagine more than a story about somebody who may be blind and receives sight, but in fact to recognize that this is a story about the voices from the margins in our community and in our world, but also within ourselves. We have that voice of Bartimaeus inside us too, a voice that we often tell to be quiet. Shh, we're busy being holy now. We're busy being good now. We're busy being whatever it is. Shh, quiet that voice down. And Jason engaged us and invited us to wonder if perhaps it's those voices that we really need to pay attention to, those voices in community, but also that voice within ourselves, and recognize God's call. Let me hear that voice. Give it voice. Listen to it. The way we heal as people, the way we heal as a community, is by listening to and engaging the voices on the margins, the voices that come out of darkness. He did a wonderful job, and I can't do it justice in a summary here. I would invite you to listen to the podcast, listen to the sermon. It's as good a sermon as has ever been preached in this building. It's quite beautiful and challenging and meaningful. And that was the kind of morning we had as a community. We found it challenging, the world. We found it meaningful, the word and the gathering. We found it comforting to be together, and we left, I hope, prepared to engage a little more with the world, to help us move from a world where violence, anti-Semitism, racism of any kind is not something that we go, oh, well, of course that was going to happen, but something that becomes unthinkable, unimaginable. And we do that one at a time with individuals and with people. We do that by inspiring our institutions, but it starts with one person. So even though you weren't with us today, I invite you to start as one person to recognize that you are not alone, which means it's not all about you, but in fact it is about this web of humanity, this kindred reality where we are all together siblings. We are all children of God. So that's what you missed today. I invite you to think some more on it and come and share with us what you think, what you feel, what you experience, and together we will keep moving toward a world where violence, where exclusion, racism are unimaginable. Until we get to see you again, God bless you.